Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Atri, my dear moments. We are moving from one story arc to another, as we have finished the project that we came up with at the school to make a little bit of a energy source, if you will, with the water that is rising and lowering as the day goes on, which worked out, and everybody was happy to have a little bit of electricity there in that building, which is just very fascinating. And I don't know how unrealistic or realistic that whole situation was, but a little science experiment goes a long way, I'm sure. But now we're moving on to the next part here. Since all of that has been taken care of, it's time to make some money. So now we're going to go salvaging for stuff. I think that's what we have going on. More specifically, I think the idea is to salvage for items that have been lost by people that enjoyed those items, that have a connection to them. So here we are. I bring the ship to a stop some 300 meters offshore. Next to us is a buoy, placed here by us yesterday.
Yoshi, じゃあ始めるか.
God damn, you can be really loud sometimes for no good reason. Honestly, there is no good sound mixing in this game. I keep on trying, but I keep on failing. Because everybody is just loud.
全部うまくいくからよ.
ヒットマンどこ?
Including that kid.
お仕事だ!
The three of us busily prepare to start diving. I wonder how long this submarine is going to hold up, because it was very specifically described in the very beginning to not be the most, ideal vessel to be in. Soon we find ourselves at the bottom of the sea. Although we're not particularly deep, it's dim and quiet down here. The cramped confines of the sub's cockpit always have their own particular oppressive atmosphere. No matter how many times I dive in this thing, I don't think I'll ever get used to this. There's always the nasty little worry poking me at the back of my mind that my leg is about to start aching. Atri will be at school right now. It's not like I don't know where she is, and I feel my chest tightening, trapped down here in this tin can, until I hear a voice come through the radio. I found the house. The roof has rotted off and drifted away, so it won't be difficult to get in. Roger. So are we looking for something specific for, an individual, or are we looking for something for one of us? Purging the front ballast tanks to dip the Serpent Albus's nose, I dive down through the open roof. This looks like the chest. I pull the top drawer open with the manipulator arm. It comes out with surprising ease. Had it not, we would have had to lift the entire thing out with the crane. It's filled with all manner of things, but the arm's grabbers aren't sensitive enough to pick through them. I really should have brought Atri down here. I would have, but I was concerned about letting her spend too much time underwater. She's not built for underwater operations. Plus, it seems like she has, club activities today. I found the drawer, and I'm bringing it up. Get ready to grab the item out. The transmission cuts off, and I prepare to surface. This involves another round of managing the ballast tanks. When surfaced, the tanks are filled with air, which is then purged and replaced with water when you need to dive. This reduces the sub's buoyancy and causes it to sink. In order to surface again, you need to purge the tanks of water, This is done by flushing them with compressed air. It's stored in cylinders attached to the sub, but a vessel this size can only hold a limited amount. Running out means you're unable to surface, so you have to limit yourself to one dive per voyage. Of course, if for some reason I did run out at the bottom of the sea, I have the crane to pull me up. That's something I'd rather not have to rely on, however. Yeah, that could be a little risky, a little physical. I pull on levers and flick switches, and air rushes into the ballast tanks. That was a nice little lesson on how this whole thing works, because as I've mentioned very early on, I don't know anything about, any of this, really. While Ryuji is checking that we've got what we need, I unlock the hatch and climb out. Ryuji, can you handle the docking lines?
はいよ。
I wait in the cockpit while he ties the lines to the ship.
お疲れ、夏。
夏希先生
We get a stick? Rurika hands me my cane, which she had been looking after. Oh, that stick. Thanks, kid. Standing on the deck on my 3 legs, I finally feel freed from that metal cage.
夏希先生どうしたんだ
I'm just a little tired. I didn't think being this far away from Atri would leave me feeling so jittery. This is the first time since we started living together that I've been away from her for an extended period of time. Little mistake there, but it's all good. I suppose this all began with that night when we turned on the lights for the first time. An awful lot has happened since then. Such as... I guess now we're going back a little. Originally, I thought the generator would just end up being used so that Rurika could read books at night. I didn't think that something that we had started as just a little science experiment would end up producing the results it has.
うげー全然わかんねえ家で自習してた
Who
んだ
the
けどな
hell is this?
みなもヘルプミーごめん私もわかんないやだろうと思った何よ悪かったわね
Let me take a look.
おおここなんだけど
This is practically the only place in town where you can see any light glowing after sundown. That single little bulb shining away in the distance has become big news all around town. People are even stopping by after dark just to see it. And that's not the only thing around here that's drawing a crowd. Yeah, I sort of
次
figured.
宿題を忘れてきたら私のお仕置きフルコースをお見舞いするわよはーい
Catherine has been officially employed by the local district, and the return of a teacher to the school has helped to pull in a lot more students. Now, across all of the school years, we've assembled 20 whole pupils. Are you kidding me? All right. There we go.
なんだか賑やかになりましたね町にはまだ子供がいるから噂が広まればもっと増えるかも
Minamo smiles widely. Now that we have enough students, we've split teaching duties such that I'm teaching the high schoolers and Catherine takes care of the younger years. That being said, I'm not really a teacher. Our class is largely self-directed, with me just on hand to help anyone who has a question. So, do you think you get it now?
ありがとう夏希くん教え方上手だね
Really?
丁寧で分かりやすいよな。夏のおかげで俺の成績が上がっちまいそうだ。
うん前にいた先生よりずっと上手だよかっこいいし
Hey, you know, at least we're cool. At first, I thought it was difficult to explain things in a way that the person listening can process, but it's something I've gradually worked out some tricks for. That's something I don't think I could have ever done when I was at the academy. Back then, it was fine if only I understood something. It was simply other people's fault if they didn't understand what I meant. Here, I'm surrounded by kids of all ages and academic abilities. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, and their own ways of thinking about things. I've just been playing at being a teacher, but at the same time, it's taught me how important that role is.
夏希さんできました
Atri waves frantically at me, finished with the work I set her.
アトリッチ早いさすがだね
What the hell kind of nickname is that?
こう見えて私高性能ですから
And she probably has all of it wrong. Let's take a look. Yep, all correct. Your methods look good. I guess I'm
高性
wrong.
能ですから
ロボットなら計算ができて当然だろ
You say that, but... She's a household robot who can't do anything around the house. I've learned to expect the worst from her. Yet, she's actually a pretty fast learner, particularly when it comes to math and science. She can remember almost everything you teach her, which gives me a surprising amount of satisfaction. She's not technically a student here, but if she was, she'd be one of the best. Legally, she's just my support robot, but that hasn't stopped her, from blending in with the rest of the class. I wish these sentences read a little better, but Catherine rings her handbell.
はい今日の授業はここまで掃除当番はちゃんと掃除して帰るように
As everyone is unwinding at the end of the day, Minamo rushes up to me with a sudden announcement.
私、部活動を始めようと思うの。
Oh, and now that you got enough students, I guess that makes sense. She looms over me, grinning and breathing raggedly with excitement. You mean, that thing where you stay after school voluntarily?
そう、中学の頃はしてたんだよ。生徒も増えたし、またやりたいなって。
Yeah, you'd never catch me doing that. I was a part of the Go Home on Time club or whatever people call it. Yeah, I just wasn't really a fan of like any of the clubs offered where I went to high school. There really wasn't a whole lot unless you wanted to be a part of like the student body, you know, club or whatever the hell, which I wasn't really interested in anything like that. So yeah, I did do a little bit of archery. We had a very small archery club that lasted for like 3 weeks. So that was neat. I was also a part of a literature club back in college, and that also fell apart. Basically, if I'm a part of a club, it's falling apart. So there's that. A lot of schools did used to have clubs, particularly sports clubs, I suppose. Oh yeah, I guess I was a part of like a team. I used to run, so I guess I voluntarily stayed after school for like 4 out of the 5 days every week to go and just, you know, run. The Great Sea Rise dramatically reduced the amount of available land for such frivolous things, though. What kind of club are you thinking of?
料理部を結成するよ。私が部長さんで、
Oh, thank
羽
God.
鳥ちゃんが平部員。
She needs all the help she can get. If she can learn,
みなも部
if she can learn here, fantastic.
長。みなも部長。いい響き。
Yeah, of course that's what you think. You're involved with this too.
なつきさんの許可をいただけるなら。羽鳥ちゃんね、なつくんに美味しいご飯を作ってあげたいんだって。
料理教室に通う新妻みたいな理由だな。
Huh?
へへへ。
No matter how good a student she might be, I struggle to imagine her getting better at cooking of all things. Memories suddenly flash across my mind, horrendous, arcane, nauseating pictures of things that could hardly be called food. Do your best.
なつきさんが期待してくださっている。頑張ります。
She gives me a happy little salute. Maybe not excited.
なんか悔しいな。夏、俺らも部活やろうぜ。
What kind of club?
そりゃ軽音部だろ。バンドやってると女にモテる。
Yeah,
大丈
yeah,
夫
good
だ。
luck,
今
buddy.
俺が教えてやっから。
なつくん、女の子にモテたいの？
Not particularly, no.
だよね。なつくんは、
Ouch.
ゆうちゃんとは違うんだからね。
うっ
Ouch.
せえよ。まあ、夏はもう間に合ってるもんな。
I really would not call what he currently has a harem. Like, no, not at all. He chuckles and glances past Minamo and Atri to where Rika and Catherine are cleaning on the other side of the room.
私はそういうんじゃ。リリカね、なつき先生好き。
Yeah, not really helping our case here.
私は違うわよ。って何言わせんのよ。
You know that Catherine
いや
has,
何も言ってねえし。つうかこっちの会話聞いてたのかよ。
now that Catherine has, you know, taken over the teacher position, I am looking at her in a different light. If we're going to be working our salvage business, we won't have time for club activities.
あ、そういやそうか。
Right, come on. We don't have the time to be sitting around here chatting.
そうだな。おいリリカ、行くぞ。
待って待って、まだ掃除してるんだ。
子供らだけで大丈夫なの？私も一緒に行ってあげてもいいわよ。
花ちゃんについてこられたら分け前要求されそうだ。
Haha.
しないわよ。あとその名前で呼ぶな。
なつきさん、私がそばにいなくて平気ですか？
平気だって。俺がついてるもんな。
He throws his arm around my shoulder again.
あなたには聞いてませんし、あまりなつきさんにベタベタしないでください。
She forcibly pulls... Oh, God damn. She forcibly pulls him off of me despite his resistance. We're playing tug-of-war with this man. I don't quite know why, but she seems to react like this whenever she sees the two of us getting along. She doesn't want to be replaced. We'll come by to pick you up afterward, so you just enjoy your club. Take care of her, Minamo.
わかったご分を
With that slightly off-putting turn of phrase, she bids us goodbye. Yeah, that was a little odd. But okay, that kind of gets us back to where we currently are. Gets us caught up on the, course of events. So while Atri is cooking, we're here diving. I really didn't think I'd be the one suffering the most from being alone, though. When I don't have Atri holding my hand, I suddenly become acutely aware of how alien my prosthetic leg feels. Excuse me.
さっさと帰るか。
Ryuji weighs anchor and we set off toward the shore. I sit on the deck exhausted.
なあ、夏。
Yeah?
みなもってお前のこと好きだよな。
Don't be fucking surprised. Please, I'm so tired of the oblivious main characters. Why are you bringing that up all of a sudden? I'm taken aback by the abrupt question, but I naturally don't let it show on my stony face at all. Yeah, you're really doing a fantastic job there.
ごまかすの下手だな。顔赤いぞ。
He grins at me and I turn away with a grumble.
全然気づいてなかったか。
It's not that I didn't, but... Okay, so he's not as oblivious as I was thinking. Obviously, I've noticed that Minamo seems to pay particular attention to me and tries to be exceptionally friendly. But I was hesitant to assume that she'd possess those kinds of feelings for me.
誰が見てもそうって感じだもんな。あいつすぐ顔に出るから。な、リリカ。
みなもちゃんの夏希先生を見る目は恋する乙女だよ。図書室の本で読んだから知ってるんだ。
I think you'd be a better match for her, though, Ryuji. To be honest, I thought that he might have had that kind of relationship with her.
ああ、聞いてないのか。
Oh,
俺とみなもはいとこ同士だ。
yikes. Oh, well, yeah, that does change things.
だから遠慮すんな。つうかさ、あいつ素直すぎるっていうか、人を疑うこと知らないだろ。変な男にコロッと騙されそうで心配なんだ。夏とくっついてくれると安心なんだがな。
Well, damn. I'm glad you think of him as, such a guy. I don't quite think that's true. She seems like the type that would say no before anything went too badly for her, but I can understand his concerns as a relative. Even if you say that...
みなもじゃ不満か？いとこの俺が言うのもなんだが可愛いだろ。家も地元の名士で裕福だし。
She's pretty well off, yet here she is, in this area. Well, I guess so. I mean, her character is fine and everything. Look, if somebody was, cooking for me and paying a whole lot of attention to me, goddamn would I notice that, and I'd probably, fall for somebody like that because, well, I'm easy, but also, no, that is like really serious kindness, and to show that to somebody who, like him, has lost a whole lot in his life, that can mean a whole lot to him. So, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Are there routes in this? Is this just a complete linear story? Because if there's the potential to go in her direction, that might not be so bad. That might lead us to a really nice ending of some sort. I don't know. It's true that she's cute and a nice girl. She's always willing to put up with me, and when even I'm repulsed by how I act sometimes. I'd be lucky to have a girl like her. Then go get her, Tiger.
夏希先生、いつもの殺し屋みたいな目じゃなくなってる。どうしちゃったんだ？
Rurika peers curiously at my face.
言ってやるな。夏はウブなんだ。
ウブか。かわいいな、夏希先生。
I've almost got used to Ryuji calling me cute by now, but now even Rurika is saying it.
みなものやつ、今頃お前のために料理作ってるぞ。
That's not right. She'll be making it for everyone.
かけてもいい。もし作ってなかったら、俺が命の次に大事にしてるギターをお前にやるよ。楽しみだな、夏。
Stop teasing me, you moron. Or we'll have to push him, off the deck.
ありがとうよ、リュウちゃん。
Okay, so we did salvage for somebody. When we hand over the item, a watch, to Tomita-san, the shopkeeper, he thanks us over and over again with tears welling in his eyes.
この時計はうちのじいさんの形見なんだよ。 海に沈んだきりどうなったかと思っていたけど。
Even after so many years sunken beneath the sea, the dirty, scratched watch is still keeping perfect time.
本当にありがとうよ、リュウちゃん。
俺じゃねえよ。引き上げたのは夏だ。
Nice to meet you. I'm not quite sure what tone to take with a man crying over a watch in front of me.
もしかしてあんたが学者先生かい？
Young what?
そうだよ。発電機を作って学校に明かりを灯したのもこの。
そうかいそうかい、お兄さんがね。
Damn, this dude's gonna be fucking famous in these parts. It appears that I'm a young professor now. The man takes me by the hand and shakes it so vigorously that I think my arm might come off.
私も手伝ったぞ。みんなで作ったんだ。
そうかいそうかい。
He hands over the fee we discussed, as well as a little something extra. Nothing like a tip, even during the end
よ
times.
かったら食べておくれ。今朝うちで採れたやつだよ。
It's a large, shiny watermelon? God damn, that's a tip.
おお、でっか
いいのかよ富田さん。
今年は豊作でね、遠慮することはないよ。ところで学者先生、
Yes?
先生の力でうちにも発電機を作ってもらえないだろうかね。電気がないと
I knew
何
it.
かと不便でね。
I don't know if I predicted it in like a previous episode or something, but I had such a feeling that because of the work that he did at the school and how well that went and how, well, we're seeing the effects now, how well it's turned out just here in this area. You know, probably the next step is to really just revive this town. Really make something of an area that's, you know, not doing so good. That might be tough, but I could probably make you a small wind turbine or something. It doesn't look like there's anything around here that could be used to generate power the way the water around the school can.
そうかい、残念だね。
じゃあな富田さん。
Our job done, we head out of the store.
こっちか。
Rifling through the money that we've earned, Ryuji sighs.
実費を抜いたら儲けは小遣い程度だな。
Since we're just a bunch of kids, we've set our prices pretty low. Every dive costs us a significant amount in both fuel costs and compressed air. Our profit margins aren't exactly the biggest.
すまん夏。金を稼がなきゃいけないのに。
It's fine, everyone's hard up. It's just nice to see people happy. Plus, we're making a profit in the form of watermelons at least.
なんか変わったな夏。
Huh? How do you mean?
柔らかくなったっつうか。初めて会った頃はそんな優しく笑うやつだと思ってなかった。
There's more hope in his life. I guess I've just got used to this town, really. I've had a lot more contact with the people around here since we built the generator. I'm still not the best communicator, but I've started to realize how warm and accepting they are.
いいと思うぞ。今の夏の方が俺は好きだ。
I really don't know how to react to someone saying they like, well, anything about me. But it does make me happy.
何赤くなってんだよ可愛いやつめ。
Stop calling him cute. Shut up. It is a really weird thing to say to another guy.
街で電気が使えるようになんねえかな。でっかい発電機作って街全体を昔みたいに明るくすることはできねえかな。
Right now, with the sun setting, the streets are completely dark and drab. Hardly anyone is outside. I remember how the town looked when I was a child. Even at night, everywhere was lit up with colorful lights and full of lively, happy people. I don't think that's possible. If we mass-produced a lot of smaller generators, we could at least light the town up. But I don't know if we could ever make this town like it used to be.
夏でも無理か。
To tell the truth, the more I've come to understand this town, the more I can see that it's doomed to disappear before too long. Soon the point will come where it can't survive anymore. Like everything, this whole world as a whole will return to dust. Unless the government does something to save us, we're on the path to ruin. Life will become more and more simple, more primitive. Maybe that won't be so bad. I look down at the heavy rotund melon that Rurika is carrying. What, just going back to the basics?
みなも。
あ、リュウちゃん、ナツくん。リリカもお帰りなさい。
Have you guys ever been in your classroom, like back in like middle school or high school or whenever, you know, when it's like after dark, like maybe for like a little, you know, post-school type of activity. I don't know, there's just something about being in like a lit classroom where when you look outside the window, it's just nighttime. It's a weird feeling, you know? I don't know, is that just me? It might just be me. I'm just gonna say it's probably just me.
Natsuki-san!
We used to do some experiments, more like data collecting, that was like space related or something back in like middle school for my science class. And I remember that we'd have to basically be at school at like 9 p.m. So we'd come back at like 9 and it was like just a little extra thing. You would get some, you know, extra credit points and it was just a fun time. You had to be there until like fucking midnight and that shit was sick. So whenever we left and everything, it's like you're on the school grounds, but it's completely dark out and it's such an odd feeling. It's wicked stuff. And then there's also coming back from like the very late field trips and shit. I don't know, there's just something about it where like, man, I'm never experiencing those moments again. You know, the nighttime, but it's, you know, you're still in the classroom or whatever. I don't know, it's never gonna be the same. As soon as she sees me, Atri beams with a wide grin and rushes up to me. She immediately grabs onto my sleeve as she always does. Have you been good for Minamo?
アトリちゃん、一生懸命お料理の練習してたんだよ。
Oh my god.
びっくりするくらい下手っぴだったけど。学習しましたので、次回はきっと。
I hate to say it, but she's probably worse than me. And I'm pretty terrible. This means I'm going without dinner tonight, doesn't it? I sigh theatrically, hiding a chuckle.
それなら。
Oh, here we go. Minamo nervously holds a box out before me.
私が作ったのでよければ。
Inside the box, I can see a perfectly round Hamburg steak and some boiled vegetables. God damn. Fuck you, Ryuji. You son of a bitch. Ryuji sidles up to me with a grin and elbows me in the side. Shut up.
Huh?
Thanks, Minamo. You're a lifesaver.
いいの？ハンバーグ美味しそう。リリカの分もあるわよ。
Yeah? See, Ryuji? What did we tell you?
みなも、これを切り分けてくれ。夏、食ってくだろ。
Ryuji places the watermelon on the desk with a satisfying thud.
わあ、でっかいスイカ。どうしたの？
Hey, you know, work has perks.
サルベージアの報酬でもらったんだ。食っちまうぜ。
あんたたちいつまでやってんの？
I don't know why I read that as how long are you bastards gonna hang around here?
電気があるからっていつまでも居残ってん
She's
じゃ
not
な
that
いの。
vulgar.
遅くなると親御さんが心配するでしょ。
花ちゃん先生、ちょうどいいところに。
その名前で呼ぶな。
みんなでスイカ食べるんだ。花ちゃん先生も食べようよ。
うわ、でっか。どうしたのこれ。
お仕事したらもらった。
報酬が現物支給って。
Well, as a tip.
なんだか知りませんが、早く食べましょ
Why did they program you to eat so much? You don't even need the nutrients.
う。美味しいは嬉しいですか
That is true. I can't really deny that out of her.
ら。待ってね。今切り分けるから。
どうでもいいけど、早くしなさいよ。
Everyone wolfs down the watermelon Minamo carves up. It has such a simple, nostalgic flavor. I don't know, I'm kind of turned off by watermelon after... Okay, I was at Anime Expo 6 years ago, 2018. It was hot as fuck, but it's always hot there because it's in LA in the beginning of July, like one of the first few days, or some of the first few days of July. I think it's the first weekend of. So it is just hot, 100-degree weather, and sure, you're inside for like the bulk of it, but you got to go outside sometimes. And it was time to eat, so we were getting some greasy fast food at like $30 a pop or whatever because, you know, they hike up the prices. And they had a drink choice, and you can get like a fruit drink of some variation. And I was like, huh, I might give that a try. The guy in front of me is like, go for the watermelon, it's bomb. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I like watermelon, it's got a good taste to it. So I get that, I get my food or whatever, and we go to sit down. That was the warmest drink, and it was nasty. It was like nasty watermelon. So I'm just, that cost me like $7 or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of turned off by watermelon now. Just, it's not the same. It kind of got ruined. So that guy that was in front of me in line, you fucked me over. And I can really only blame myself. I'm the one that made the purchase, but that was a shit suggestion. My radio is blaring out some old rock song. The fuzzy guitars and rumbling bass are intensely irritating, and yet somehow comforting. And this is one of those bands that Ryuji is obsessed with, I believe. Wow, that was good. I let out a satisfied sigh as I finish off the dinner Minamo made for me.
なかなかデリシャスでしたね。スイカといい、ハンバーグといい。
Atri opens up her logbook. It's almost half full already, having been used for both her logs and her working class. What do you actually write in that thing? I try to lean over and take a look, but she raises her hand in front of my face.
ダメですみちゃん。
What's wrong with me looking at them? A master's got the right to look at his robot's logs, right? Logs are intended to be examined for errors should a humanoid need maintenance, after all. If no one else can read them, well, they're pointless.
女の子の日記帳を覗き見するのはいけないことだと認識しています。
That's a diary, not your fucking robot logs. I look at her with puppy dog eyes.
そんな顔しても無駄です。見せてあげません。恥ずかしいですから。
Well, I suppose I can't force her to show me if she's that against it.
見ちゃダメですからね。
Right, understood. I lie down on the bed pouting. Atri glances over at me as she writes.
ログを見せてあげないと言ったら、夏希さんが拗ねてしまったと。
Hey, you don't need to log that.
ログはその日にあった出来事をありのまま書くんです。
She finishes and stashes the notebook inside her dress. She must have a pocket in there or something.
機嫌直してください、夏希さん。今夜は私のことギュッて
Doesn't he
して
do
寝
that
ていい
already?
ですから。
I'm pretty sure that's like a nightly routine. Why would I do something that embarrassing?
毎晩してたじゃないですか。
Yeah, there we go. See? Well, I'm not doing it anymore. From now on, I'm sleeping on my own.
もう、だだっこなっちゃうんです。
Whatever. Weren't you supposed to be looking for your lost memories anyway?
ちゃんと探していますよ。
It looks more like you're just spending every day going to school and studying, and then coming home.
はい。他に手がかりもありませんし。
Are you really alright with that? I glance over at the calendar. God damn, yeah, we're in this month. We're in the month where at the end of the day, or at the end of the month, technically, it's all over. That's all, folks, as I glance over at the calendar. About 1/3 of it is crossed out. That means there's only 30 days left before Atri's deadline. Why don't you read your old logs or something? Atri should have been recording everything that happened to her since she was activated. They'd probably have something in them related to the last order that she was given by my grandmother. Just as I'm about to make that point, Atri suddenly flips her dress up in front of me. I'm momentarily stunned until I realize that she's trying to show me the pocket inside.
夏希さんにサルベージしていただいた時にはなくなっていました。
Ooh,
あのカプセルの中に落としてきたんでしょうか。
that sounds like an adventure to me.
だとしたら、もう水でふやけて読めませんね。
I see. Could you stop lifting your skirt? Her petite tummy and poofy panties are difficult not to stare at.
なぜ照れるのですか？いつも寝るときに見てるのに。
Well, you're not waving them in my face like that normally, and even then I'm still embarrassed.
なるほど。学習しました。
Great, I'm sure she'll use that against us at some point. Atri drops her skirt back down. Why am I blushing over a robot? Jeez. Well, I suppose she does look and act completely like a girl. Most scholars would agree that AI can't be said to actually possess a soul, but spending so much time around Atri almost makes me think otherwise.
ちら？
Hey, stop lifting your dress like that.
学習の成果を披露しようかと。成功のようです。夏希さんが赤くなっています。
No, I haven't.
夏希さん、今夜も私を抱きたくなったんじゃないですか？
Do you have to word it like that? Idiot. Atri grins at me as I sputter in consternation. Alright, she's really enjoying teasing me. If these aren't real emotions, then what else could they be? Anyway, if there's anything you need help with, just ask. With searching for your memories, I mean. They've got to be important to you, right? So I'll help you find them.
はいです。ありがとうございます。
Just another reminder that the end of this fucking story is gonna break my heart. Her warm smile makes my face burn red again for some reason, so I swiftly turn my back to her. It's nighttime and almost time to sleep, and yet I'm not afraid at all now. I wish I could sleep this soundly forever, safe and comfortable in Atri's arms. Wouldn't it be the other way around since she's significantly smaller? Wouldn't we want her to be in our arms? Or something? I don't know. I don't know how it all works. But I will say, goddamn has Natsuki changed. He is such a different person compared to whenever we were first introduced to him in the very, very beginning. In the very, very beginning, I was actually really, skeptical about the story that we were being introduced to, but it's a very chill time. It really is. Minamo. The next morning, I stopped Minamo in the hall at school.
おはよう、夏くん。
Morning. Thanks for dinner last night. It was delicious.
本当？はい、本当です。私の高性能味覚センサーがデリシャスと判断しました。
Shut it, toaster. I whack her on the back of the head and push her away. Yeah, she kind of just...
何をするんですか？
She just barged herself into that conversation.
夏くんさえ良ければまた作るね。何せ私、料理部部長だし。
Hell yeah. I'd love that, but you don't have to go out of your way.
遠慮しなくていいんだよ。いっぱい苦労してきた夏くんのために少しでも力になれたらなって。みんなも部長、何かね、アトリ部員。
Comrade?
私も上達したいです。美味しいハンバーグの作り方を教えてください。よろしい。この部長さんが指導してあげよう。
Where is she even getting the meat for this? The two of them continue their little role play as we enter the classroom. Minamo's such a nice girl.
だからそう言ってるだろう。
At lunch, Ryuji and I sit together on the roof. And it used to be quite vague where exactly lessons ended and breaks began, but Catherine has the school day properly scheduled now. I generally bring a lunch that I have brought from the market, or bought from the market on the way here. If I didn't, I'd end up having to eat the food that Atri prepares.
夏さえその気なら、あいつは嫌とは言わないと思うぞ。
Now, she will say yes. I'm fairly certain.
素直になって。
I've never been this sure about something ever before. I lean over the railing, gazing far into the distance. On the far-flung horizon, enormous billowing clouds rise like mountains, their shapes almost dissolving into the endless ocean. I already have someone I love.
マジかよ。あ、もしかして前に言ってた初恋のお姉さんか？
I simply silently stare at the sky. I just don't know how to handle conversations like this. I'm completely new to them.
なるほどな。初恋をまだ引きずってるってわけか。
It's not like I really, like a really serious thing, but, well, I still think about her.
いくつくらいの人なんだ？
I'm not sure, but I think she was about 5 years older than me. She was really quiet, but so pretty.
5つ上。今23、4くらいか。その年齢の女っつったら。花ちゃん先生。
I don't know how old she is, but she's gotta be a little bit older, maybe. Not a chance. My reply is instant. I am absolutely not letting him corrupt my pure innocent memories like
い
that.
や、そういうがな。花ちゃん昔は真面目でおとなしかったらしいぞ。女ってのは急に化けるんだよ。
No, I'm sure it wasn't her. The girl was more translucent? Bro, that's a ghost. Bro, you met a fucking ghost. That's why she was pretty quiet. You couldn't communicate with her. So many horrible things happened to me back then that I'm not really able to remember many things in detail. Conversely, that somehow makes some fleeting impressions stronger.
まだ探してないのか？
I shake my head.
送ってないやつめ。 大人にもできないようなすげえことやっちまうくせに。そういうとこが可愛げなんだな。
Why do you keep fucking complimenting him with the word cute? Ryuji sighs and mumbles to
よ
himself.
しわかった。俺が見つけてやる。
Hang on a second. You don't have to do that.
いいんだって、お前には恩がある。俺、この町じゃ顔が利くからな。会うかは置いといて、探してみるだけでもいいだろ。
I guess. He's right. I probably should do something about these lingering feelings I have for her. I decide to take him up on his offer. Yeah, might as well, I guess. What's the worst that could happen? And thus, after school, we put into action Operation Natsu's Mystery MILF? What? Okay. Yeah, I've never been one to name, the operations, so I'll roll with this. I don't need to say that I didn't come up with the name. Let's just not advertise it to anybody.
通称花屋のマリー23歳。ゆるふわ系美人。どうよ。
The two of us peek into the florist's stall from the shadow of a building. The girl's delicate curly hair seems almost see-through, glimmering in the sunlight. But nothing about her face strikes me. No, it's not her.
よし、次だ。
We sneak through the shadows over to the second-hand bookstore. A bespectacled girl sits behind the counter reading a book and ignoring the customers completely.
古書堂の店主の孫で、月の読書量が100冊以下の男は交際を申し込む資格すらないという。
100 books a month. I am very far off.
通称、本のラビリンスに囚われし姫君。どうよ。
She's pretty for sure, but I don't really read that many books, and she's not the girl I remember anyway.
なんだよ、ついに姫を攻略する男が現れるかと思ったのに。
Don't worry, somebody will come around to her. That's quite the very specific and harsh requirement, but someday. I don't think that was the original point of this exercise, but Ryuji seems to be enjoying himself. We quickly move on to the next target. From the shadows, we peek out at a girl sitting on the terrace outside of a pub. Even though it's still daytime, the pub is open, and the girl is visibly blind drunk.
通称ドランククイーン。居酒屋を主な生息地とするアルコールの妖精。酒と共に生き、酒と共に死ぬと公言している酒豪。
Okay, so I'm not really one to like bash a translation or localization, but he said the drunk queen, right? Like he actually said that in English. So why is the nickname that was then translated or localized the sloshed siren? Like me personally, I would have preferred how it was said, just straight up, even if it's, fucking stupid, but that's how it is. I don't know how I've completely felt about this whole script here in English, I have to admit.
テキーラ100杯勝負に勝たないと
It's kind of
彼女を店
disappointing.
から連れ出すことすらできないという。
I think this may be the first time I'm actually disappointed by an English script. How would I do that? I can't even legally drink.
見た感じどうよ。色素薄い系だろ。
Well, that's for sure, but I'm struggling to believe the girl I knew back then would grow up into a drunkard. I think her eyes are the wrong color.
瞳ね。どんな色だったんだ？
They were red, deep crimson like rubies. They were so beautiful. That's about the most concrete thing I can remember about her. Yeah, I was gonna say, actually.
シンクの瞳ね。よし、次だ。次は若くしておふくろさんの異名を持つ惣菜屋の娘で。
What the fuck? Why was that the nickname? One by one, we make our way down a huge list of candidates. I'm surprised there's so many. The grocer's daughter, the postwoman, the farm girl. Every single one of them is just ever so slightly different from the girl in my memories. It's Atri, isn't it?
渚のマーメイドも違ったか。となるともうここ
You know,
の
I
手がない
guess
ぞ。
it depends. If he was back here after he had lost his leg, that was at a very young age. I mean, Atri would have probably appeared to be slightly older than him at the time.
いや、一人いるな。うちの姉ちゃんが。そうなると、夏が俺の弟に。いや、この場合義理の兄。
Ryuji froze his brow and starts mumbling something under his breath.
あらあら、りゅうちゃん。
Hey, yo?
ああ、うっす、おばさん。
おばさんじゃないでしょ。 お姉さん。
Yeah, you don't ever say that to anybody. This lady, feigning annoyance and then giggling afterwards, is Minamo's mother. Judging by the heaving shopping bag that she's carrying, she's on the way home after getting groceries. She's significantly older than the girls that we've been stalking all afternoon, but she possesses the same beauty her daughter does.
ナツくん久しぶりね。元気だった？
You know, getting by. Thank you for making those lunches for me before. They really kept me going.
いいのよ。のんこさんが亡くなって大変でしょ。いつでも頼ってくれていいからね。なんだったらうちに婿養子に来ちゃう？
I'm sure she would love that. Like, there's a lot of people that would just love that. Ha ha ha.
それともそういうの抜きでおばさんの子供になっちゃう？
Well, you don't have to ask me, the one reading this, any further questions. Let's just jump in. I'm trying to laugh, but it's coming out awfully hollow. There's something carnivorous in her eyes. She looks a lot like Minamo, but she has the kind of sultry air I could never imagine her daughter giving off. She has the particular sensuality of an adult woman, the kind of erotic appeal that I could be swallowed up by.
夏希さんが身の危険を感じています。
Hey, that was pretty accurate. Her cowlick what? Up boying? Okay, up and down like an antenna. Atri boying? What the fuck is that? Her hair thing, right? Whatever. Atri forces herself between the advancing cougar and me. Yes, Atri, she's been there the whole time, silently following us on our mission.
どこのどなたか存じませんが、夏希さんを困らせるのはやめるのです。
Is that why we saw like a glimpse of her earlier?
あら、あなた、アトリちゃんね。みなもから聞いてるわ。まあ、かわいい。ぐりぐり撫で回すのはやめるのです。アトリちゃんもうちにおいでなさいな。みなもに妹がいたら寂しくないわねってパパと話してたのよ。ねえ、いいでしょ、アトリちゃん。私は夏希さんの足ですから、そういうわけには。
Wow, even Atri is being completely overpowered. That's real cougar strength for you. I need to find me a woman like that. God damn.
あら、ごめんなさい。からかいすぎちゃったかしら。
Uh-huh.
やっと解放されました。でも、うちを頼ってくれていいのは本当よ。困ったらいつでも来てね。
That's nice to know. Thank you.
それと、いつでもうちの子になってくれていいからね。おばさん、夏くんみたいな子。
What the fuck, man? Giggling to herself, she trots off.
えげつねえな、おばさん。
I guess if you could just, I don't know, that's weird. Obviously, in real life, if somebody was like that to, a high schooler, that'd be very, very, very fucking suspicious. But to be that happy here in the end times, to be that joyful, and, to joke and tease that much, as if we were not in the end times and the sea wasn't rising and all that, it is interesting, and it really does show a lot about her character. Even so, she's most definitely just a background character. I felt like a bug who's got a little too close to a Venus flytrap.
すごく怖かったです。何なんですか、あの人。
I have seen a glimpse of the adult world, and I never want to venture into it again. For real. Trust me, it's not fun up here. Alrighty, I guess we'll call it there. Seems like an alright spot. We recorded a fair amount. So that was the 9th episode. We're almost 10 episodes in. I don't know how long this is. I know that my episodes have been, I don't know. I think they're around always the same length or so, but I don't know how much more we have left, and I don't know how many episodes will make up this playthrough. But I'm probably going to focus on this a lot more going forward just to wrap it up, because I know it's not the longest thing, and I want my heart broken. Not really, but I'm ready for it. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there, and next time we'll continue along with the search or whatever it is the fuck we're doing. But I do like how things are already in this arc. Now that we're kind of just, we've established a lot, and now we can kind of focus on a lot of different things. So, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.